Imagine waking up in a city where oxygen feels like a luxury, where every breath is a battle, and where survival is an everyday challenge. This is not science fiction, it's reality. Welcome to La Rinconada, Peru, the highest permanent settlement on Earth, perched at a staggering 5,100 meters, 16,700 feet above sea level. Here, air is thin, resources are scarce, and life is a relentless struggle against nature itself. But how do people survive in this extreme environment? And what does their resilience teach us about the limits of human endurance? The harsh reality of La Rinconada. Nestled in the Andean mountains, La Rinconada is home to roughly 50,000 people. Miners, traders, and families who have built their lives in a place where oxygen levels are nearly half those at sea level. The lack of infrastructure, extreme cold, and no proper sanitation make survival even tougher. The city runs on informal labor with gold mining as its backbone. But with no regulation and no promise of stable wages, life here is as unpredictable as the mountain itself, setting the scene. The harsh reality of La Rinconada. High in the Andean mountains, La Rinconada stands as an isolated, nearly alien world, where existence teeters on the edge of endurance. Life here is not just tough, it's a constant battle against nature itself. The city, often called the highest human settlement on Earth, houses an estimated 50,000 people who wake up every day to an unforgiving climate, a scarcity of basic resources, and the ever-present uncertainty of survival. Extreme altitude, living where oxygen is a luxury. At a staggering 5,100 meters, 16,700 feet, above sea level, La Rinconada offers only half the oxygen available at lower altitudes. Newcomers often experience dizziness, headaches, and extreme fatigue within hours of arrival. Many never fully adapt and suffer from altitude sickness, while long-time residents develop biological adaptations, larger lungs, increased red blood cell production to cope with the oxygen-starved environment. But even for those born here, the challenge never truly disappears. The human body is constantly fighting against the thin air, and long-term exposure can cause chronic mountain sickness, leading to heart problems and premature aging. In La Rinconada, every breath is a battle. Sub-zero temperatures. A city frozen in peril. Extreme altitude brings with it relentless cold. Temperatures in La Rinconada rarely rise above freezing, even during the day. At night, the mercury plunges well below zero, forcing residents to rely on layers of clothing and crude heating methods, if they can afford them. Most homes are simple tin shacks, offering little protection from the brutal Andean winds. There is no central heating, no running water, and electricity is unreliable at best. A city without infrastructure. Unlike most cities, La Rinconada is not planned, developed, or maintained by any governing body. It exists solely because of the gold beneath its soil. Roads are rough and often impassable. Healthcare facilities are few and unequipped, and waste management is non-existent, leaving streets littered with refuse. Sanitation is a crisis. Human waste contaminates nearby water sources, leading to outbreaks of disease. With no formal governance, crime and lawlessness fester in the shadows. While families try to carve out a life, the harsh reality remains. In La Rinconada, survival depends not on societal structure, but on pure willpower. The unstable economy. A gamble with gold mining is the lifeline of La Rinconada, but it's a dangerous and unpredictable game. Unlike standard employment, miners here operate under the infamous cachorreo system, working for an entire month without pay, only allowed to keep whatever gold they find on the final day. It's a system designed to exploit, leaving many empty-handed while gold barons profit from their labor. Yet, despite the instability, poverty, and hazardous working conditions, thousands still flock to La Rinconada each year. Why? Because gold, despite all its risks, still holds the illusion of wealth and a way out. Final thought. A city that shouldn't exist, yet does. La Rinconada defies logic. It is a place where life is harder than death, where survival hinges on a delicate balance between resilience and desperation. With no laws, no guarantees, and no promise of a better future, why do people stay? Is it hope? Is it necessity? Or is it the unbreakable human instinct to endure against all odds? This version dives deeper into the extreme conditions of La Rinconada, emphasizing the brutality of its environment and the resilience of its people. If you want to adjust tone, pacing, or add specific details, let me know. Your knack for crafting shocking yet credible narratives is key to maximizing engagement. Blast off. The science of survival, how the human body adapts. So how do the residents of La Rinconada endure the crushing effects of altitude? Scientists have discovered that people living in extreme high-altitude areas develop larger lungs and produce more red blood cells to carry oxygen efficiently. Their bodies have adapted over generations, giving them a natural edge against altitude sickness, a condition that leaves outsiders gasping for air within hours of arrival. But adaptation comes at a cost. Many suffer from chronic mountain sickness, CMS, a dangerous condition where excess red blood cells thicken the blood, leading to hypertension, fatigue, and even heart problems. Yet despite these health risks, the draw of gold mining keeps thousands rooted in this unforgiving city. The hidden dangers, pollution, poverty, and peril. Apart from the brutal altitude, La Rinconada battles another invisible threat, mercury contamination. With miners extracting gold using toxic chemicals, the soil and water supply are tainted, leading to severe health complications. Poverty is rampant, with most residents living without proper health care, education, or access to basic needs. But in the face of adversity, people endure. They fight. They adapt. La Rinconada's challenges run deeper than just the harsh altitude. It's a city on the edge, both physically and metaphorically. The hidden dangers here don't just threaten individual survival, they poison the land, the water, and the very foundation of daily life. Mercury contamination, the silent killer. Gold mining in La Rinconada follows an informal, unregulated system where workers extract gold using mercury, a cheap yet dangerously toxic method. Miners mix mercury with crushed ore, forming an amalgam that helps separate the gold. But in the process, large amounts of mercury are dumped into nearby rivers and soil, contaminating drinking water and ecosystems. Long-term exposure to mercury leads to severe health consequences. Residents suffer from neurological disorders, kidney failure, and even birth defects due to mercury poisoning. The effects are often irreversible, leaving generations trapped in cycles of sickness and environmental destruction. Poverty, a life without guarantees. While La Rinconada offers the promise of gold, the reality is far more brutal. Most miners work under the cachorreo system, a labor practice where workers mine for free for 30 days and are only allowed to keep any gold they find on the 31st day. There are no fixed wages, no safety measures, and no guarantees. It's a gamble, one that often leaves workers empty-handed and deeper in poverty. Living conditions are dire. There's no proper sanitation, barely any health care, and infrastructure is almost non-existent. Most homes are made of scrap materials, with no heating to combat the freezing temperatures. Children grow up malnourished, lacking access to education, making it nearly impossible to break out of the cycle of hardship. Environmental destruction. A city that's dying. Slowly, aside from mercury contamination, deforestation and erosion are swallowing the land around La Rinconada. Mining operations have stripped away vegetation, causing landslides and dangerous conditions. The toxic waste dumped into rivers doesn't just affect locals, it spreads downstream, impacting communities far beyond the city's borders. With no governmental oversight or sustainable policies, La Rinconada is becoming an environmental disaster zone. The air is thick with mining dust, and respiratory diseases are common among workers who inhale toxic fumes daily. Survival against all odds. Despite these immense struggles, people stay. They endure, driven by the hope of striking gold and the need to provide for their families. The resilience of La Rinconada's residents is staggering, an unbreakable spirit against impossible odds. But how long can a city survive when its foundation is built on exploitation and environmental destruction? Is La Rinconada a glimpse into the future of unchecked industrial greed, or a warning of what happens when survival comes before sustainability? Closing with thought-provoking insights. La Rinconada is a testament to human resilience, a place where survival defies logic, where adaptation pushes biological boundaries, and where gold keeps people tethered to the edge of existence. But as climate change worsens and global resources become scarcer, could cities like La Rinconada be a glimpse into humanity's future? A world where survival isn't just about thriving, it's about endurance? What do you think? Is survival in La Rinconada a triumph or a tragedy?